Today we're covering some of the first things to do and some tips and tricks to make your new Samsung tablet even better. This is going to work on the Galaxy Tab S11 and S11 Ultra, so let's go ahead and get started. If you go into settings and choose navigation bar, I currently have mine on buttons. You can change that to swipe gestures as well, but obviously that's going to come down to personal preference. You'll also notice below navigation bar is circle to search, which can actually come in handy. You can actually just hold down on the home button and then circle anything on the screen and it'll give you more information about it. You'll notice if you swipe down anywhere on the screen, you get your notifications. If you swipe over in the corner, you'll get your quick settings or shortcuts. Nice thing is you can customize a lot of this stuff. You can even tap the little pencil, choose panel settings, and put the notifications and quick settings back together like it was on previous Samsung products. You can also tap and hold on the objects and move them around to rearrange things pretty much any way that you like. You've got quite a few more shortcuts that you can add if you tap on edit, like TV remote, battery protection, kids, take screenshot, and so on. Also, if you tap and hold on certain things, it'll bring up more details. In this case, I want to turn off adaptive brightness, so that way I can decide how bright the screen is instead of it always adjusting depending on your lighting. One thing that I would keep an eye on is updating the system itself by going into settings, swipe all the way down to where it says software update, tap on download and install. If there's no updates, it'll just tell you which Android version you're on, but you'll also want to make sure that all of your apps are updated. If you go into the Play Store, tap on the little icon up in the corner and then manage apps and devices. You can tap on update all right there, or you can tap see details and it'll show you which apps. It'll actually tell you what's new with the update, so you can decide to just update certain apps or just hit update all. Another thing that I would do, even though you've probably already set up your fingerprint scanner, if you go into settings under security and privacy, you'll see screen lock and biometrics. I would go ahead and add a fingerprint, so when you're holding the tablet in portrait mode versus the landscape, you can use either your left or right hand. You can even use the same thumb in portrait and then in landscape, which just makes it even easier to recognize your thumbprint when unlocking the tablet. You'll also notice if you tap and hold on Wi-Fi, it's going to give you a list of your Wi-Fi connections, but you can also tap on details to get even more settings as well. Same thing with Bluetooth. If you tap and hold, it'll give you more options. You can also hit details to go into the Bluetooth settings. Now, if you go into settings under display, you can pick between light and dark mode. You can even schedule it so dark mode is automatically turned on in the evening. If you tap on dark mode settings, you can schedule it so it's sunset to sunrise, or you can do a customized schedule as well. You may also want to adjust the screen timeout. I feel like by default, the screen goes black pretty quick. I would change it to at least 1 minute, maybe 2, just so the screen stays on longer. But obviously that's going to be personal preference. You can go all the way up to 10 minutes if you need to, or you can turn on where it says keep screen on while viewing. You'll also notice you can turn on and off the edge panels and taskbar under display settings as well. Personally, I would leave those on. I just think they come in handy, but it is nice that you have the option to turn those off. Also under display, you've got motion smoothness, where you can choose between standard or adaptive. If you want better battery life, you could go with standard at 60 Hz refresh rate, but adaptive at 120 Hz is going to be smoother when scrolling or just moving around the software. So kind of personal preference there. If you go to tap on the screen with the S Pen, you'll notice your little pencil with shortcuts kind of pops up there on the side. If you tap and hold on that pencil, you can actually move it higher up on the screen, or you can move it to the left side, pretty much anywhere you want. As long as you put it somewhere where it doesn't get in the way, it's definitely nice to be able to move that around from time to time. You can also go into settings under advanced features and make sure that screen off memos is turned on. If you hold down on the button that's on the S Pen and double tap on the screen, you can quickly write notes and save it without actually turning on the tablet, which is a really nice feature to have if you need to take notes quickly. If you're wondering how to charge the S Pen, on the previous Tab S series from Samsung, typically you charge the S Pen right on the back. The new S Pen doesn't actually attach to the back of the tablet though. It just attaches to the side and it doesn't actually charge now. So you don't have to worry about the battery running out for the S Pen. I know some people don't like that you lost some of the Bluetooth functionality, but not having to charge the S Pen is actually pretty nice in my opinion. Also, if you just pinch the screen, if you swipe over, you notice there's an option for Google Discover or Samsung News. I personally like Google Discover, so I'd probably just leave it, but it's always nice to have extra options if you want to use Samsung News. You'll also notice down here at the bottom, you can choose wallpaper and style. Then you can change your wallpaper to pretty much whatever you want. You can even create your own wallpaper with AI. It can even change your wallpaper depending on the weather, where it's sunny 1 minute or changes to snowing. Again, based on what your current weather is. Kind of a cool feature, really. Also, if you go into settings and look for motions and gestures, which is under advanced features, you can turn on and off where it says double tap to turn on screen, double tap to turn off screen. You can also tap and hold on the lock screen if you want to make the clock larger, change the font, change colors, and so on. You can customize things quite a bit here on the lock screen. You can also add the little shortcuts or widgets there as well to pretty much any app that's currently on the tablet. And then just hit done up in the corner to save your changes. Now to me, it's always nice to have shortcuts over here on the edge panel, but another cool thing is you can tap and drag the app for split screen. Then you could choose another app so they're side by side. You can also tap and drag to a floating window and then resize that as you like. Then you can hide the app if you tap and drag it up to the corner while you're working on something else, and then just tap on it again to bring it up on the current wallpaper. And then to close it, just tap and drag it down to the bottom where it says close. Then of course you still have where you go to recent apps, tap on open and split window, and you can have two apps side by side. You can also tap in the middle to switch them back and forth. You can also switch from top to bottom or left to right. You can even save that layout to the taskbar or the home screen. Then you can quickly switch back and forth while you're working on other things. And then if that's not enough for multitasking, you can use Samsung Dex, where you just swipe down to your shortcuts. You can choose Samsung Dex up in the quick settings, and you can customize up to 4 different workspaces or desktops that you can easily switch back and forth. Again, just a lot of different multitasking options on this tablet. Now, if you hold down on the power button, it's going to bring up Gemini, which can be helpful in some situations.
Gemini can help with writing, brainstorming, summarizing, image generation, learning, coding, and planning, like trips with Google Maps flights. It acts as a conversational AI assistant, integrates with Google apps like Gmail and YouTube, and can analyze files and images.
But you can also go into the settings and change it so when you hold down on the power button, it brings up the power off menu. Under advanced features, side button, you can double press it to bring up the camera or do things like turn on the flashlight, magnifier, voice recorder, and so on. If you go under where it says long press, you have the option of digital assistant, Bixby, or power off menu. Then you can restart the tablet or power off. You've also got side button settings there towards the bottom. Another nice thing is with the USB-C port on here, you can actually attach an HDMI adapter to go to a TV projector or external monitor, which I always think is nice, and for some reason, not all tablets have that feature. You can also plug things in, like external drives, a mouse, keyboard. There's a lot of different possibilities with using the USB-C charging port. There's actually a lot more stuff that you can do with your tablet. I think that covers everything that I wanted to go through so far for today. Hopefully this helped you out and give you some ideas on new things to try with your tablet. If you like tablets, phones, and other tech, I've got a lot more stuff that I'm working on as usual, so you'll want to keep an eye out for those upcoming videos. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.